This is Successfully Retired with Hamilton Brandenburg. Okay, man. So I thought today, Rick, we could talk about something that I think is super important, which is finding your purpose after your paycheck. I thought
Yeah.
about that. I'm going to start a fortune cookie company. But finding your purpose after your paycheck, I don't know, when people retire, a lot of times, I think so much of our lives is wrapped up in our careers, our
Yeah.
identity. What's the first question somebody asks when you go to a party?
Yeah. What do you do?
Exactly. Right.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
when
Not what do
you,
you like to do? Yeah.
yeah,
What do you do?
isn't that crazy? We could
Yeah.
do that.
Maybe we should change that.
Yeah. What do you like to do? That's
I'm
way
actually going
better.
to do that from now on. Hey, what do you like to do?
Yeah.
I'm an electrician. No, what do you like to do? Well, I
Yeah.
like to golf.
I
Great.
wish everybody would do that. 'Cause I know before the call started, I mentioned this, but I can't, I hate nothing more than small talk. I would just rather people stand in a circle and stare at me than ask me like how work is going.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry. I don't want to. So yeah.
I'm
What do you,
gonna, yeah, I'm gonna challenge myself to do that. What do you like to do? What's your name? What do you like to do? That's the new thing. But no, I agree with you.
what's your name again? Because I forgot it the first time.
Especially, es- especially for high achievers, not necessarily tied to income, but high income people, business owners, people that were really entwined with their job. Their identity becomes part of that. And when you are so excited to retire and then lose that identity, same with athletes and everything. I kind of went through this, on a lower level when I come out of college, and I don't have anything to like get up and train for and work for, and like all these
Yeah.
goals went away. It happens with work too. High stress jobs where your identity is tied to what you do during the day. You lose that, and you can lose a lot of things. You can become depressed, and your health can go down, all these things, because you just don't have a purpose anymore. And before retirement's the time to start uncovering some of this stuff.
That's so true. Like, I think if you wait too long, there's always a risk that once you retire and this 40 to 50 hours of your schedule frees up, if you haven't already started to become interested in other people, other things,
Yeah.
um, one of the things I think it could be a real trap is just like having a lot of anxiety, like
Yeah.
unhealthy habits or anxiety, deep
Yeah.
anxiety, because it's either party all the time, and
Yeah.
that's not sustainable financially or for your health, or it's sit at home with whatever my mainstream news of choices that's telling me why
The other
world's going to
side's
hell in a
wrong.
handbasket, right? It's always going to hell in a handbasket. It just depends
Yeah.
on whose point of view as to why that is.
Yeah.
And then I'm just sitting here worrying about what I can't control, right?
Yeah.
Both of those sound horrible. Like, congratulations, you worked really hard.
Yeah.
Now you're going to be miserable.
I think that what I've seen is a lot of folks that are getting ready to retire, they want to rest, they want to relax because they're so burnt out and beat
Yeah.
up, right? That's called a vacation.
Yeah.
That's not your retirement. Like, I
Yes.
don't care if it's the first 3 months of your retirement, but you can't go the next 30 years sitting on your ass relaxing. You've got to have something to get up for. You've got to have something to be motivated for. And if you don't, you're going to start sinking into that lazy boy and become a different person.
How do you get people thinking about this without just asking them, "Hey, are you going to sit on your ass all day when you retire?" just
Well,
just immediately making them mad within the first 5 minutes of your appointment.
I kind of uncover it because they're there for finance, right? So I uncover it through cash flow. Like, I want to find out what your spending is going to be so that I can build you a cash flow plan in retirement. And if you don't start listing off things you're going to spend money on, it's pretty freaking clear you don't have any plans,
That's right.
right?
That's right. That's huge. I started doing this recently. I'm curious what you think about it. It's gotten some pretty good feedback from new clients, but I'll ask them like, "Hey, if a doctor told you that you only had 10 years to be retired, what would be on your bucket list?"
Yeah.
Because I feel like when I used to ask, like, oh, like brand new financial advisor Hamilton would be like, "Oh, what do you want to do in retirement?" And then I would like take their answer seriously. Wrong answer. Wrong.
No.
But now it's like, okay, what would your bucket list be if your time window was extremely short? All of a sudden, you start getting some really genuine answers from people.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, this is good. Now, what are you going to do in between all these bucket list items? Because you can't just go from the Eiffel Tower to the Coliseum
Yeah.
to the Grand Canyon every single day.
Yeah.
And then you start building out, okay, this is what the first 10 years of my retirement might look like, or some version of it that I can afford.
Yeah.
Whereas to your point, if it's just like, well, what do you want to do when you quit working? It's like, well, quit working. Well, that's not a thing. That's a not thing, right?
That's a not thing, right? No, I think that's important, and it doesn't have to be an expensive thing.
Yeah.
It could be volunteering. I know a lot of clients and a lot of people in my family actually that had, they have value still. They just don't want to go do that job and be under someone else's schedule, but they're very smart in certain areas, and they go lend that value to local organizations and the food bank and all these other things, and they get on the board or the school board or local government, and they are using what they've learned throughout their career to add value to others, and they feel good about it, and they get up and they have a purpose, and they're still getting, people are still asking for their advice,
Yep.
they're still getting emails, but you know what, if they want to leave for a month, they can still do that too.
I met a family this summer, and it was interesting. So I met two families that stood out. One was like, her thing was like, I like to volunteer at the animal shelter. Like, that is super cool. Doesn't need a lot of money. To your point, you
Yeah.
you can, that's just something you're doing with your time. That's great, and giving back. This other couple, they're like, well, Hamilton, we really honestly, we just like to like invite couples over for dinner at our house and host them, and feel like that's not nothing. don't
Yeah.
don't talk down on that. That's
Yeah.
great, because what am I hearing? I'm hearing spending, cash flow. Let's make sure that Bob has always got a great grill, and let's make sure that when he goes to buy a a pellet smoker, he is getting a Yoder or something. Like, he's getting
Right.
the most expensive thing that he can buy. Within reason, because this is something he's going to use a lot, and
Yeah.
it's going to add a lot of value to his life.
Yeah, no, the social aspect is important, and whether that is doing things like that, traveling with other couples, you just playing golf with guys, like whatever your thing is, you just can't isolate yourself because you're used to being in a group at work, you're used to communicating and having that social aspect, and then I see a lot of folks get isolated when they come out. The other thing, in addition to volunteering, is health.
Mm,
I did a whole episode on health. We don't have to go into how to do it, but it really is just about routine. It doesn't have to be a thing you spend money on. It's a purpose to get up, to feel good. If I get up and I have a morning routine where I eat a healthy breakfast, I work out, and that doesn't mean going to the gym, benching 400 pounds. That could be taking your dog for a walk for a
yeah.
half a mile, right? Whatever your thing is, having some kind of routine and some kind of purpose is super powerful when you come from a job that you were logging 8, 10, 12 hours a day in, and then you find yourself like in your pajamas at 10 a.m. in
Yeah.
retirement. It's not healthy.
No, it's so I have a lot, maybe not a lot, but a high proportionate number of clients who retired, and they were like regional supervisors, department supervisors for a big box retailer, and they would all go all over a territory, southeast, whatever, always on the road, always flying, always traveling. Some of my favorite clients, and one of them, a story in particular, what they've done in retirement that I think's super cool is, first of all, they like moved to Tennessee and remodeled a cabin, like by themselves, like building it, carrying the board. Like, so as a couple coming together, finding purpose, doing something really cool. But they also, like, they were telling me about their routine, and they get up and every day they go to the gym together, they drive in town to the Y, and they have like their swim workouts and stuff that they're doing. And I'm like, okay, this is really cool that they're saying like, hey, this wasn't a way that we got to spend time together all the time when
Yeah.
we were working, and the career wasn't always conducive to going to the gym every day, but they're taking a lot of responsibility and ownership for, first of all, what, building together as a couple and having a projects that they're working on together, which is great for your relationship if you're
Yep.
good at working together. Probably not good if you're not good at working together. Those couples should find a different hobby. But they're also really taking ownership of their health, and that makes a huge impact on that touches everything in your life,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Your attitude, your energy. There's just absolutely no doubt about it. And I think having something to get up for. I mean, watching your grandkids while your kids are working, like all these things, like have a thing. It has to be something. Traveling is great. You need to do it if that's your thing, but it, like you said, that might be 1 or 2 times a year. There's a whole lot of time in between that yeah, you might be excited for it, but you got to get off the couch and do something every day. Start thinking about what you're retiring to and not what you're retiring from before you get there. Don't start making this stuff up after you retired, right?
Yep. Because it's going to slow down. It is
Yeah.
going to slow down. You're going to get to the place where you're not doing as much, where you're not going as much. And that's why I asked that question about 10 years. And you talk about traveling. I mean, even being intentional with your travel. The first couple that retired on my advice, one of the things that they have done every year since then is they will take their grandkids for a few weeks in the summer, and they'll do some kind of a different trip with them. And I remember I was talking to them this summer, and it's one of their last trips doing it with their granddaughter, who is now a teenager. That doesn't mean she won't come visit them for the summer and stuff, but like they've gone through, she was in like middle school,
Yeah.
and now she's getting ready to be out of high school and entering that college age. And it's like, okay, that window, and this is why it's so important. This is why people need to be deliberate about this, is because that window that you have of time is shrinking.
Yeah.
And whether the grandkids grow up and they get their own life, or whether we all go the way we all go, and we just start slowing down and having less of an appetite to get on to go to the I want to say, what is it, the Houston airport that doesn't have any of the people walkers where you're just dragging it, like there, you're gonna lose the appetite for flying and travel and all that stuff. So like whatever your thing is, really really be intentional and go after that while you can, because as the old saying goes, the days are long but the years are short, right?
Yeah. No, I love it. I think that people need to start taking this serious because it is a real thing. We've seen it. There is real struggle in retirement to try to transition from busy, 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 all this free time. You think it's great to be able to sit around now because you're working and you're stressed out. But after, a few days or a few weeks of that, you better find something that gives you some drive or some
Yep.
purpose, or you're going to start declining. But I think we can leave it there. Appreciate it, buddy. Good talk.
All right, buddy.
Yep.
This show reflects the personal opinions and viewpoints of myself, Hamilton Brandenburg, and my guests. Opinions and viewpoints are subject to change at any time without notice. No representation is made as to the accuracy, completeness, or relevance of the information presented. The information discussed is general in nature and does not constitute investment, tax, or legal advice, so consult with your tax, legal, and financial professionals about your specific situation. Past performance does not indicate future returns, and any indices mentioned are for reference and cannot be invested in directly. Brandenburg Financial Services is a DBA of CS Planning, an SEC-registered investment advisor.